In the house for the ensuite, we've got shower wires. The Roca Victoria T thermostatic shower with overhead rows and handset. So there's a couple of things we need to look at when we're fitting this, but to start with, we'll get it all unboxed, see what's what. So 1.7 metre hose, metal braided. Our handset, when you're singing in the shower, this only has one function on it. So it's not got interchangeable jet, soak, the standard spray, it's just got the standard spray function. Nice big sealing rose, we're going to leave it all in the packaging so it doesn't get damaged. And the little bits and bobs, little handset holder and stuff like that for the riser rail. That's part of the riser kit that we've got, so this will go on the wall. Your shower head will come over the top. So this is the thermostatic bar shower itself. The two centre fixings there, your pipe work. Destruction manuals. There's the arm for the sealing rose. These are the fixings for the valves. So what these do is these connect it from the water supply to the body of the shower. So we've got a double-ended nipple as such. We've got a 3/4 that goes onto the shower, then a 1/2 inch which goes onto our water feed fitting. In this little box, ta-da, we have a little LED light that will sit nicely just above the mirror. And then in here, we have our basin tap. 1/4 turn cartridges inside there. Very good for maintenance. They last a lot longer than washers. They just open, just let a certain amount of water. Right, moving on. In the ensuite again, we've got the Roca Gap 600 white basin and vanity unit. So we've got a nice slimline basin top. This will cover the whole unit. Single tap hole, waste hole there as well. Inbuilt overflow. And then, so we have our floor standing, matching legs, 2 of them, with our three drawers at the front. They're kind of a brushed, nice set of drawers. The key thing is there's a big cutout in this drawer. So although it does reduce space in the drawer, when you've got your basin sat on top and you've got your waste falling through it, perfect little cutout for your trap, pipe work to come in, and it's not going to get in the way of the drawer, so it's not going to bash it or anything, or you've not got to cut the drawer out as such. Nice little handy space, and they've made use of what space there is in there and what they've done with the drawer space. On the feet, there is a hexagonal nut on there just to allow for a little bit of adjustment if needed, if your floor's not level. Ideally in here we're going to get the floor level first before we can first fix everything, and then before we even contemplate putting stuff back in there, let's get that floor set, let's get it level.
Do you need to like put that in and measure it up, or is it still all about just getting the room ready and then figuring out where it's going to go?
I've got to figure out where it's going to go to where it's going to look best. So ideally probably going to have the basin here, and then the toilet's probably going to sit here, studded off the wall slightly. Make a little shelf there to hide the cistern unit, and then probably a towel rail in this corner here. Door will open onto the shower, so you walk in, toilet basin, shower behind the door. That's the initial plan anyway. So we have our back to wall rocker toilet. This is going to work with our concealed cistern unit here. This is the compact WC concealed frame. It's very, very thin. You see the profile of that. Whereas you think a normal cistern is quite wide, this is quite long and quite thin to account for our water. It's got its own insulation jacket on to stop any condensation on tiles or the wall or anything like that. Adjustable feet, our inlet pipe to the toilet, outlet pipe for a waste, solid metal frame as well. The beauty of these is everything is accessible. So this is where a push button will go. So you've got double flush and half flush. Everything is accessible. You can maintain it through this hatch. You think this is going to be fully boxed in. The only access you'll have is the push button, which will be here. Pop the push button off. There's a little water connection. So that's our cold water in. So this is an isolation for it. So what this does is this sits on the inside of our cistern like that. This will get tiled in, so you won't see any of this. There'll be a pipe work going to it. Our cold water supply sits on the end of that. That is our isolation point For the float valve, it's literally just a turn on, turn off. So it's nice and easy. In an emergency, you're not got to worry, I've got a screwdriver at hand. Turn it on, that'll let the water in. Water's in, down to the float valve, that'll fill up. You've got your siphon here as well. It's a great little idea that, to have everything tucked inside there. When we are looking at fitting this will be screwed to the floor, screwed in a frame. We've also got to think about how high the floor is going to be. So we'll level the floor, stick this down, build a boxwork, build a framework. That's all nice, that's all tucked away. We're then going to tile the floor, so the floor is then going to come up another 10, 12, 13 mil. We've got to make allowances for that when initially fitting this, because our toilet will sit up another 13 mil higher than what this is. So we'll have to adjust this to suit, so our outlet to our toilet and our waste fit seamlessly with the toilet itself. So as you can see, you've got your 4-inch waste there, you've got your flush light pipe inlet there. We want them to line up so they don't leak. So we've got to think of how high the floor is going to be, mark it up, get it in place. So it's just a little bit of forward planning to look at how making our lives easier, really. So it might not sound pleasant, but you've got to kind of imagine that you're going to be living, or this is going to be fitted in your house. Would I be happy with it there? Can I go to the toilet with ease? Can I sit down? I don't really find it. Maybe slightly too close to this wall, so we'll pull it off a little bit, make an allowance for a toilet roll holder. This will be more or less like that, final position. So as long as we're below this window, it'll make a nice little shelf for us. So this is starting to give us our initial look of how the bathroom is going to shape up and what kind of room we've got. There's a decent sized mirror to go on there, so we've got to make allowances that the mirror will fit here. There's probably ever such a slight lip on the top of the basin to the actual unit. So it just creates that little shadow line there. So when we're fitting this, we can't put this side up tight to the wall. So we'll have to pull it off the wall ever so slightly, just to allow the nice even lip all the way around. So in this little alcove that we've got, we're going to have a 900 by 900 shower tray. So this is a solid resin tray. It's got a nice effect to it to make it feel like it's not just flat. It's kind of like a stone as such. So they've cut a bit of stone in half. So yeah, this will fit nicely in this little alcove. Shower above it, screen, toilet basin. So yeah, that's the basics of what we're going to be fitting in here. Nice and easy fitting together these. Screws in, it's got a double seal on it as well. So there's no worry about it leaking. At that junction, there will be a bracket to kind of hide that joint there. There'll be this bracket, which will sit like that. And then again with this, there is a tiny little Allen key just there. Push this in, screw it together, and it should sit in that little divot just there. So that'll sit like that. Little red spot on the back, hot on the left, cold on the right. Fairly standard across everything. It's probably going to go somewhere around there, the valve. We're trying to get it as close to the ceiling as possible. I've measured that these pipe centres for our shower are 150 mil from centre to centre, which is fairly standard. So from there to there, middle of them is 150 mil. So we find the middle of what our tray is going to be. So we've got a 900 tray, so we find 450. And that's our middle, and then we want 75 mil either side, and that will be where our two pipes are going to stick out. We can level that in, level it down, and then start first fixing.